It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
You're always in a help situation.
Kyle drives the left side to the window, kicks to the corner. It's Bailey. It's for three. It's good. Ace Bailey's got 18 points. 119-112. Lowry, left wing three. That's who's supposed to make threes. That's the guy that's supposed to rip the court from the left side. The one-hand pass to Keontae, who steps behind the three-point line for an off-the-bounce three, and he hit. 1 point game. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is electric. This is fabulous. One-hand pass to the wing to Okongwu. Driving on Markin, twirls back, tries to go up and under, and does. 32 for Onyeka Okongwu.
Onyeka Okongwu, this is fabulous. This is also another loss, so that makes it fabulous. The Jazz go down in a slugfest. I thought I was watching Cal Raleigh up at bat. How did he not get the MVP?
Hey, hold on.
Oh, boy, man. The offense was on full display. The Jazz giving up 42 points in the first quarter. It got better. Not by a whole lot, but it got better. But they lost. The Hawks without Trae Young. I didn't even recognize these guys. Who are these guys on the Atlanta Hawks as they move to 8-5, surging 6-2 on the road? Oh. Well, bright spots, marking, and scores. We're going to have Lock on as we usually do on Friday. I can recall several years ago, we were talking about guys put up stats on losing teams. What does it really matter? And we can ask him about that because Markin is sure putting up stats. And so is my guy, the Gondola. Get on board. I'll carry you to the top. Ace Bailey. Yeah. 4 of 7 from 3. Sweet. And 32 minutes. That's what I want to see. Now his plus-minus sucked. It was minus 18 if you're into that stuff. I'm not going to put it all on Ace Bailey as to why his plus-minus was bad. I don't know. I'm not a big plus-minus guy. I'm a big final score guy. But the Jazz go down. And how do you say that guy's name? Sivi Mikhailuk?
Svi Mikhailuk.
He and I had the exact amount of points.
Yeah, he had a tough night.
0 in his 25 minutes. But he was only a -4, so I guess he's, 14 points better than the Gondola, Ace Bailey?
If you go by plus-minus, yes.
Which I ain't going by. So the Jazz get beat, which is good news for the Lottery, and they fall to 4-8, and they're back at it Sunday, 5 o'clock for the pregame, 6 o'clock for the tip-off across the street at the Delta Center. All right.
Stay tuned later on in the show. We're giving away tickets to that game.
Tickets? All right. We got tickets later on. Please listen. Oh, I need you to listen so badly.
Hey, we'll incentivize you. We got you.
Yeah. And maybe DJ will be there and just ask him what's up. Away you go. We'll see. The Jazz back in action Sunday against the Chicago Bulls. All right, let's move on to the NBA.
Hashtag NBA.
Well, only a couple of games outside of the Jazz. The Suns, man, are they on to something? They beat the Pacers. Pacers only 1-11. Yeesh.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. Aaron Nesmith now is down with an injury for Indiana. They're
gonna get.
They're depleted.
They need Rick Mount and Don Boozy, some of the old time Pacer guys.
Jermaine O'Neal, can you play? Reggie, no more TNT stuff. Come over here.
Yeah.
Oh no,
man,
what's Reggie doing? It's not TNT anymore, obviously.
Lose by 35 on the road. They're 0-7. We know that they were here at the Delta Center a couple of nights ago and got beat. And the Suns, 8-5. Good for them. 6-1 at home. And Raptors beat the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. What was his shooting? How many shots did he jack up? 7 of 18. Oh, wow. Getting to the free throw line 17 times. Man, those superstars always get the call. But his plus-minus was negative 18. Second worst on the team. No, tied for worst with Evan Mobley. Plus-minus, man. There you go on that. And, Steph, he's done. He's done with Under Armour. Are they to protect this house, people?
That would be them.
Well, didn't he do that? Didn't they were going to build some low income out by his home out there, and he didn't want that?
Oh, he protected his house.
Yeah. Oh, for power to people. What, you going to put him in my neighborhood? No.
He protected, yes. He protected his hood. There's no doubt. Now, he's had this relationship for well over a decade, PK.
2013.
Yeah, so kind of crazy to see it coming to an end. But
wasn't he building his own brand?
Yes, he has been doing a little bit of that, but the question is he going to partner with, let's say, a Nike or somebody else to continue to build that at some point?
No. Do like the Pac-12 and go out on your own. We see how well that works.
Just branch out? Okay, yeah, got it.
So that's the NBA, and there'll be a bunch of games tonight, won't there be? For sure there'll be. I'm going to tell you, what are some of the games you may want to watch? We constantly tell you what happened. Did the Jazz win? We'll show you tonight. No, brother, that's long ago. Not a whole lot of good games going on. The Warriors and the Spurs. Now, the Warriors just beat the Spurs, and now they're back at it again. We shall see.
And it's an NBA Cup night if you're...
the fancy courts. Yeah.
Or in the case of Minnesota, the ugly courts, according to certain head coaches.
So if we're going to check out the Cup, would that be a cup check?
It's a cup check, yes.
Not Mitch.
It's a
you ever have a cup check in high school?
Yeah.
I played baseball. I had them. But I was so confident, I don't need no stinking cup. All right, that's your NBA. Let's move on to the sport of... What do we got next? We got college basketball.
#college basketball.
Okay, we got a bunch of games. Now the big game is tomorrow. We got the Cougars. They're playing UConn.
In a bit of controversy, though.
5 o'clock on Fox. Same time as Utah kicking off football in Waco, Texas. Now, obviously, Kennard Davis Jr. was arrested on suspicion and alleged DUI. That's the story that came out last night. And I think about what to say. You can go with the cheap shots and all. BYU, you're so different. No, you're not. Blah, blah, blah. And then you can have fun with that if you want. I've always thought they should tone down that rhetoric and just let it speak for itself. If you're different, you don't need to tell me you're different. I'll notice it myself. But they get new people in there and they get excited about it, so they want to tell you about it, and good for them. But at the same time, people are people, and that's people are going to make mistakes. Now, this kid, I don't know what happened, and I'm going to go on right now to wait until all the facts come out. It was before noon, and on the way to be able to fly over there I assume they go into Boston and we'll practice today and get ready. It'll be
Correct.
A fun game. I'll be looking forward to watching the game, flipping back and forth between the Utah game. I'll probably have my computer on so I can watch the football game and also watch the basketball game. This is not Delaware or Holy Cross. Obviously, it's UConn, which has won a couple of titles here in recent years under Dan Hurley. And Dan Hurley's fun to watch himself because he's he's my Jersey guy, ready to blow a gasket at any time, as Jersey people tend to do. I can speak to that. Made millions of mistakes myself. So I'm going to hold off judgment on any of this stuff and let it play out and see what happens, because there are going to be any number of things that it could be involved in, and I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate and say he's guilty of this or that. They'll go ahead and do the thing, and then BYU will act accordingly, and then we'll go from there, right? That's about the best I can do. So reserving, not that I would have judgment either way, as it's not my role to be judging these people. It's my role to give opinions on it. I guess maybe that's a kind of a blurred line there. But I'm going to wait. Not going to say anything as far as he's this, he's that. The program is this or that. Kevin Young, obviously their majority of their roster is not of the LDS persuasion. Not that an LDS kid couldn't make the same type of mistake, if in fact this is a mistake, or any mistake for that matter. We'll see how that plays out. It is on ESPN now. A lot of people don't like BYU to get that type of publicity, and there's plenty of people on the other red side who like BYU to get that type of publicity.
Oh, yeah.
And
social media has been...
Yeah, social media. Social media sucks. I can't say anything more. A bunch of anonymous people popping off. But Myron Metcalf has a story that was posted this morning. That's 6 o'clock our time, 6 a.m. And starter, Kennard Davis Jr., starter for BYU, top 10 squad this season, was arrested, blah, 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 on suspicion of DUI following the crash in Provo.
The full police report is supposed to come out as early as today. So
yeah.
to your point, PK, withholding opinion, judgment, whatever it is, until that full report comes out is probably prudent.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm not, I use the phrase dancing on grave, and that's a metaphor. It's not literal, obviously. But if it's true, whatever, I'm not going to sit here and celebrate. I didn't when it happened to Max Hall, so I'm certainly not going to do it here. Nor would I do it to any young man, or young woman, no matter where they are in that regard. So let's see what happens, and then go from there. Bunch of other games, too. Utah State hosting UTEP at 2 o'clock. Scotty G at 1:30 with the coverage on the call. Is he going to get down to the football game then?
I'm thinking about that. There's no way that's going to happen.
So maybe he's not doing the basketball, he's doing the football?
It's got to be somebody else doing basketball, yeah.
Let's see. UConn's ranked number 3. Southern Utah at Omaha, 6 p.m. Utah, Sam Houston, 7 p.m. UVU at Fresno, and Weber at Irvine. And Utah Tech is out in the islands. Man, they played, they played the 2 Arizona schools. Now they're going to Hawaii. The Judd's brother,
yep,
John.
John Judd.
Jeez.
Yeah, they played Manhattan 2 nights ago. They actually, and I didn't put this on there. I missed it in the initial. They actually played tonight. It's part of they call it the Rainbow Classic.
Oh, so it's a tournament.
It's a tournament. So they play tonight and tomorrow night. I think also Saturday.
Man, that's a heavy schedule for those guys. All right, let's move on to the NFL.
Hashtag NFL.
First and goal to go from the 7 once again. Henderson scored from this spot on New England's last drive. Double tight ends left. West over the fullback. Henry motions right. May hands it to Henderson. Cuts it left. Runs it to the left side. Into the end zone. That's 2 for Travion Henderson. And the Patriots take the lead. Snap to May. Looks to his left. He pumps. He throws. Falls it in the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots. And who caught it? Travion Henderson. A hat trick for the rookie.
Henderson with the hat trick on the touchdowns. Good for him. Drake May, 25 of 34. Drake May, man, coming into his own. You gotta love that. See this young man develop as the Patriots move to 9-2. They may just well win the AFC East.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, wow. Vrabel, runaway coach of the year. I don't think there's any question about that, right? That's about as easy as it comes.
Find somebody else who's outdone their expectations like they have.
Yeah, wow. Nothing comes to mind, obviously. Let's see. Bills, they're 6-3. They're behind, man. They got the Bucks at home. 2 6-3 teams. Now, that is one of the morning games, so see what happens there. Both those teams can usually win. The Bears deserve some consideration, too. They're 6-3. And that's a step. That's a step in the right direction. Faux show, I would think you would say, as far as that. And then in the afternoon, you got a big NFC West showdown between 2 7-2 teams, the Seahawks and the Rams. Now that is at the future home of the UCLA Bruins, SoFi. So the Rams are hosting that game, and we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a big game. Chiefs and Broncos. The Broncos are 8-2, and the Chiefs are already 2 games behind. So look forward to watching that game too. Sunday afternoon. See what they got there. If the Chiefs want to get in, I don't think they can fall to 5-5. Certainly, if they want any form of winning the division, they can't do that. And then we got a nice nighttime game: the Lions and the Eagles. 6-3 Lions, 7-2 Eagles. We'll have our locks of the day. None of us. We're like the BYU Cougars. We're no longer undefeated. Yak won the first of the double crown. Who could stay undefeated the longest among the three of us? And the Yakster, the kid of the group, who's not a kid anymore. It's just that we're old. But, compared to us, I guess. And so he stayed. I was gone after like 5 weeks. I finished second. And you were gone after like 9, 10?
Made it to 10.
All right. And then we're going to still total up the locks and see who has the most locks at the end of the season. And, of course, obviously, Yak would be in the lead on that. But there is still time to catch them. That is your NFL.
Hashtag Utah.
I think it was a nice show of respect for our program from the committee to rank us where we were ranked. But again, we got to take things 1 week at a time, and that's exactly what we're doing this week. And not to not have a better answer for you, but that's just how we're handling it.
When Kyle retires, he's going to say, I'm taking it 3 weeks at a time. Coaches do that when they retire? No, they go down to Baylor. And they got 5 o'clock, ESPN2. Now, I think they win, obviously. Baylor's AD is in a bunch of hot water.
Mac Rhodes stepping aside, personal leave.
And our guy, Mark Harlan, is taking the place. Now, a funny thing is that Tuesday, I went and looked and see some of the people who were on the committee. And I don't know if I pulled up an old one or what, but Harlan's picture was on there on Tuesday.
That was probably from the 2023 when he served the 1 year.
I know. I thought I put in 2025.
Yeah.
So maybe they've known for a few days.
He was a really natural fit because he has the experience of already being on it. There's no having to train him on that. And it obviously is going to have certain fan bases, a blue fan base that's going to be wary of it.
I'm sure Harlan will do a fine job. I have
He will.
Zero doubt on that. Yeah, he's been around the block. I find him to be an engaging guy. I enjoy my conversations with Mark, and we like to tease each other about where we went to school and all that. So others may have different opinions, but that's my opinion. All right, let's move on to the Ags.
Hashtag Utah State.
Aggies looking to break through on the road. They have not done that yet, and they go to Vegas. UNLV 7-2. Dan Mullen, former quarterback coach way back when for Urban Meyer at Utah. Now, Vegas is still trying to stay in the hunt. They're 3-2 in league, and so are the Aggies. So this is a big, huge game. Aggies want to get to bowl eligibility. That's the first check off for these guys, and particularly where they were from last year. That would be another great rebuilding job in year one with Bronco Mendenhall, just like he did 20 years ago with the Cougars. So that is at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, man, it's 5 o'clock everywhere tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. Your evening is going to be very busy.
Yeah, for sure. CBS Sports, 5 o'clock. So we got 3 games. We got 2 football games, Utah and USU, and then BYU basketball, all at 5 o'clock. My thumb and index finger may be bleeding by 8 o'clock.
Wearing out the remote control.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I may have to go with the phone on that. So I'm going to have 1 computer, 1 television, and phone.
It's going to be a multi-screen.
Yeah, because I got to pay attention to all of those 3 games there. All right, and the Cougars, they're up next.
Hashtag BYU.
TCU is very good in their own right. Very impressed with them, and Coach Avalos is a very good defensive coordinator. So we have our hands full. But we do have a good offense. We have a good identity, and we just want to get back to it. We just need to execute better.
That's Aaron Roderick, offensive coordinator. The Cougars look to get back on track, obviously. That is a late nighter. 8:15 kickoff, which probably means 8:25. Unless they throw it on another network. So looking forward to that. That's on regular ESPN. At TCU, I know they got beat last week. That's a very disappointing loss for them, for sure, at home to Iowa State. And what can they do? They've had a bunch of leads there. They led the Devils by 17. And the Devils came back to win that game. I think they were up double digits on Arizona. Just spoke about Iowa State. I still think they're dangerous. Any given game, they're dangerous. BYU is going to have to play well to win. And they need this win, man. They absolutely. Maybe they can get in the conference title game with 2 losses, and they got Cincinnati next week, but no way they get in with 3. So looking forward. I am so looking forward to tomorrow. Sports all day long. And mostly football, but that one basketball game. And we got college football, obviously. Let's get to that.
Hashtag college football.
College football, a couple games tonight. If you're interested, Minnesota's at Oregon at 7 o'clock. And then Clemson at Louisville. We'll see about that with the obviously Big Ten and ACC. Tomorrow, a big game in the morning, right at 10 o'clock. You've got Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. That could have playoff berth implications for show. So I'll be flicking around on that one. Cincinnati, you got Arizona. Arizona's being an upstart. They're bowl eligible after bombing last year. That game is also at 10 a.m. So that's one with the Cougars and the Utes, for that matter, battling with Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's still ahead of Utah. So would you want BYU to win? Because then you'd have the tiebreaker over Cincinnati. But, oh, my gosh, rooting for the Cougars? No way. Who could do that? So we'll see about that. The Devils hosting West Virginia at 11 o'clock in the morning. So got some big games. And then at 1:30, you got some huge games, too. Oklahoma at Alabama. Looking forward to that one. UCF at Tech, I don't think that's going to be UCF having a chance to win. Iowa goes out to USC. Now, USC tomorrow, that's 1:30. It never rains in Southern California, but tomorrow it's supposed to be raining.
Yep.
And that'll be interesting because it hardly ever rains there. And I've covered 1 million games in the Coliseum over the years, and I'm trying to think of rain games, particularly in the day. I can't recall any. And I worked down there in newspapers for about 10 years. And this is supposed to be lousy weather, and it's obviously moving east here. It's going to be impacting our area. Time to put the golf clubs up. News in college basketball or college football. Let's see. Arkansas AD, it was a Yurchek. He will replace Hunter Yurchek, who will play Rhodes as the champions. Rhodes, the Baylor ones, has stepped down. I don't know what's going to happen there. And so the Arkansas AD will replace him as the chairman of the College Football Committee, and then he'll be speaking to the media the rest of the season when they do their rankings on Tuesday night. And Colorado Buffalo's AD, Rick George, he'll step down in July and move into an advisory role. So that'll be interesting. Does he not want to fire Coach Prime? What's going to happen there? Because they're having a lousy season. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Oh, and another big game that I didn't say was Texas at Georgia. That's at 5:30 between Texas, obviously 10th, and Georgia 5th. The implications on that. This is the great time of year for college football, so we're right down to the end. All right, baseball's over, but we got some awards to hand out.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Oh, my gosh. Your guy, Cal Raleigh, did not get it. Aaron Judge got the MVP, and Yak was outraged. He could not believe it, man.
Stupid Yankees.
I think he's going to New York and going to be presenting a sign in front of the MLB offices, unfair labor practices.
The shame on New York Yankees is like MLB. Get a big old sign and stick it right outside the headquarters.
Yeah, I was torn. I would have been fine either way. I'm fence sitting on this one. So Judge gets it, second straight, and to the surprise of no one, the Shohei Ohtani Award went to Shohei Ohtani. As he unanimously, what's that, 4 times?
Yeah, first 4-time unanimous MVP, 3 straight, 4 in the last 5. He's
multiple leagues.
Yeah.
Both leagues, not multiple, but both
AL
leagues.
And NL, yeah.
Yeah, so what will he do in 2026? We shall see. And what will the Mammoth do? Let's go there.
Hashtag NHL.
I think, just how much belief there is in each other. Never giving up. We know how good we can be offensively. We know when we're trailing, we can easily come back. So I think just that belief in each other in here.
That's JJ Peterka. We've got our own JJ. You can hear him from 3 to 6. And the Mammoth got their JJ Peterka, who was acquired off-season. Now they play tonight at the Delta Center, 7 o'clock against the Islanders. The Islanders are 9-6. So they're right in the Metro division there. They're right in the middle. So this is a decent team. This will be a good win. And the puck drop, as I said, 7 p.m. Coverage here on the KSL Sports Zone will begin at 6 p.m. with Hockey Night in Utah. Friday night hockey, man. How cool is that to be able to see in our see for that matter? I was going to say and see, I guess, in our town here as they're in their second year. All right, What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job that is too big or is too small. You can get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Of that, I can promise you. 8:30, we got Lock, radio guy for the Jazz. And then at 9:05, the Squeakster, Kevin Graham. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing back east? Look forward to talking to you in an hour and a half. Always look forward. Now, we talked about Utah Jazz tickets, and we were giving away a 4-pack to the Chicago Bulls. That is Sunday. Okay, we got college football to get to, a whole bunch of stuff, BYU hoop. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's game week for the Cougars, and the KSL Sports Zone is getting you ready for kickoff. Even after their first loss of the season, the Cougars' dream of a spot in the Big 12 title game is still alive and well as they welcome TCU to Provo on Saturday. Listen all week long for the best coverage of Cougar football. Then catch College Football Saturday game day at 10 a.m. with a postgame show immediately following the game on KSLSports.com. Your home for the best coverage of BYU football is live on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time on a Football Friday to ask the question that we all care about. Don't we expect BYU and Utah to beat these two teams from Texas on Saturday?
I'd bet your life on it.
Thanks for that. I feel like I'd have a good chance of being here Monday, but I'm not real positive. Because while they ought to win, this isn't, we're not talking laughers here. These are teams firmly in the middle of the Big 12.
Okay, but Utah has played teams in this in the higher category and smoked them.
Yep, that's true.
Every time they win, it's a blowout. So I could see it. I can see them winning 31-10.
Have they blown out a good team on the road? All the blowouts I'm thinking of were at home. And West Virginia was a blowout, but that's a bad team.
It was bad at the time. They've gotten better.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's their fault. That's not Utah's fault.
No, I get it. But this would be if they win in a blowout, this would be, here's a weird category, this would be their best blowout road win of the year.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just say it's the best blowout of the year because it's a pretty good team on the road.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati is. I think they win comfortably. I see no reason not to go along those lines. My mindset is that they win comfortably.
They're going to run it. They're going to run it some more, and then they're going to run it some more after that, and there isn't much Baylor's going to do about it.
Yeah, that's not a big intriguing point for me.
It isn't.
I'm looking to see what Sawyer Robertson and that offense can do against the defense. You know, they took Sorsby and just locked him up. They didn't get an opportunity to play Levitt. And they did okay against BYU, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, they lost that game. Analytics apparently lost that game.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Fourth quarters, just talking because that analytics is more an issue of the offense and choosing to go with the offense instead of the special teams.
Yes.
Defensively, they gave up 24 to BYU, and 14 of those came in the fourth quarter with the game on the line. And they gave up 21 to Texas Tech in the fourth quarter when it had been a close game, and that 21 took it away. So, to your point, they've locked up most teams they've faced, And even the 2 games they lost, they were stellar for 3 quarters, and then in the 4th quarter, the other offense did enough. Even the 34 against Texas Tech in college football, that's not an outrageous number. Certainly not a good number for a defense, but when teams are averaging 28 to 30 points, 34 is not outrageous.
It is not. But I expect them to win comfortably.
So then, as you bet my life on this, the Utes being a 9.5-point favorite on the road at Baylor, that's at 5 o'clock, so I'm still alive at 8. But where my life might be at risk would be at 8:15 when BYU hosts TCU.
Well, this is a must-win, obviously. They can possibly get into the title game with 2 losses and things break their way, but there's no way they're getting in with 3. And then if they lose tomorrow, then you would make the assumption that they would lose in
to Cincinnati, right?
And that's not a good setup for you. So, last year it was sort of not that they were fat and happy, but they overachieved expectation. And you can argue that they've overachieved expectation this year. But given the fact that they started 9-0 last year and then lose the last couple of 2 of the last 3 there, with Kansas and the Devils, left a little bit of a sour taste. And here, the guys like Chase Roberts, we're going to finish this. There's a lot of vowing going on that we've learned from that and all that stuff. And so, yeah, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt until I see otherwise. The Texas Tech loss was not unsurprising. It was non-competitive, which I think was more surprising than not. So with that in mind here, this is a must bounce-back game. You can right the ship. The opportunity is there. I don't think you'll beat Tech the second time, but just get there and then surprise us all, and that'd be great. I would love to see it. I'd be the first one to say I was wrong on that. And things can change if there's injuries between now and then, but as we sit here this morning, you've got to win this game, and the idea is to get to the conference final. If you get to the conference final with only 1 loss, I don't even care if you got beat 80-0. If you go 11-1, that's a really good season. I mean, come on. There's no other way you can spin it. I mean, you can argue, well, Texas Tech, game days there, biggest home game they've had since that Texas game, was that 08, 09 or something. Mm-hmm. The crowd is going berserk and everything. Mahomes is in the stands. I mean, it's sort of things conspired against you, and they jumped on you, and you didn't play well. So maybe you can understand it to a degree.
Yeah, but 11-1's super rare. There's 136 college football teams, and right now there's 10 teams that have a chance to do that, and they won't all do it. So if you get there, you're one of a small handful of teams that pulls that off.
And you will have accomplished something that you didn't accomplish last year. So that's advancement. That's improvement. And you're doing it with a youngster who we figure will be back. You never know with the transfer thing, but the future in the immediacy would be extremely high for next year and all that stuff. And Texas Tech is losing a bunch of guys. They've got a great recruiting class, but they brought in a ton of guys that were one-and-dones this year, and the quarterback would be gone and all that stuff. So it would really look bright for next year being in the mix to be one of the favorites, if not the favorite for sure. We'll see how that plays out. But you got to get this thing. I'm getting way ahead of myself. You got to get this home game. You lost that home game to Kansas last year. That's what did you in, not going down to Tempe and losing to a team that was hot, who was on a 7-game winning streak. That's no big deal.
The ASU game is comparable to the Tech game. So this game is like the Kansas game, and you can't have what happened against Kansas happen at home here.
And I don't care if it's a fluke hit kid on the helmet and whatever. You just can't be in that situation. You didn't score enough points, obviously, and you threw an interception there at the end of the first half. Fetching analytics. They just would have said, don't throw that lob in the end zone at the end of the first half. Maybe something good could have happened. But you got to get this game, and they all know this. There's nothing. And they're just, some of those coaches listen to us in the morning, but they know it full well. They know it burns 1,000 times brighter for them than it does for me. And so I suspect that they'll be fine. But I got to see it because I thought they would have beat Kansas. The ASU game was a toss-up, and you lost by, 4 points? Whoop-de-doo. That happens. There's going to be a winner and a loser. I was actually impressed the way they bounced back because they looked like they were on the verge of getting blown out, and they came back and literally made it as tight as you could possibly be. So that was impressive to get off the mat like they did and make that game big-time tough. So now, with all that said and the experience of that, they know it. They gotta get it. They have to get it. I think they will. I hope they will, but they must. This is a cool November game, literally and figuratively. See what I did with the...
I did. Yeah. Just letting you savor that for a second there. I knew you were enjoying that.
Well, sometimes, though, in full transparency, I get sidetracked when I wallow in my greatness for too long. Sometimes I just need to hit it and then, okay, that happened. Now I'm taking one great comment at a time.
You just put that 5-iron 10 feet from the pin, but you got to put it behind you because you got a 10-footer to make for birdie.
Right.
Okay.
One great moment at a time. Sure, that was a great moment, but it's almost like it's 40 seconds behind us now. You got to move on to the next one.
Don't we all expect BYU and Utah to beat those two teams from Texas on Saturday? Caleb, best QB they faced on the road. Caleb seeing the combination of things that could bring the Utes down. Meanwhile, Christy, Utah, yes. BYU could struggle. TCU can be tough.
Christy says that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably agree with Christy on what she's saying there. I assume that's a female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. That's logical. Yeah, if I had to pick one of the two, guaranteed, I'd go Utah.
Right. Vegas says Utah by 9.5 and BYU by 4.5. And that's with the 3-point accommodation for the home team, obviously helping BYU and working against Utah. So the gamblers are right there.
It looks to be that on paper.
Yeah.
Which has been proven wrong many times, but that's the way it looks. And so I would agree with that. I did not know the odds, but I could agree with those odds.
I mean, we got 9 games in the books now. TCU's slightly better at 6-3. Well, they're both 3-3 in league. TCU's slightly better overall at 6-3. Baylor 5-4. Baylor lost to Auburn. They lost their big game, and TCU beat SMU.
It just seems like Baylor's in a little bit of a
funk
quandary. The athletic director's basically stepping down.
Yeah.
And there's something going on there. And then he had the problem with the tight end, I think a while back. Aranda just seems like he's fighting for his job the last 5 Novembers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's been 5, but it just seems like
No,
that.
it does. It does seem like that.
Yeah.
I bumped into...
Do you have a friend whose daughter went to Baylor?
No.
Oh,
close, though. Bumped into somebody we know whose kid was heavily recruited by Baylor and was leaning towards going there and then changed because Aranda was, the job was in jeopardy. And it seems like that was 3 years ago. So that job in jeopardy
So
thing,
you bumped into Steve Tate 3 years ago? You bumped into him recently?
No, 3 years ago. In line at Cafe Rio. What a Utah experience that was.
Yeah, and I get that. That's uncertainty.
Yeah.
You're supposed to commit to a school and all that,
right.
But that is fantasy land.
I know.
The engineering program and all that stuff.
And Steve played, so he totally understands how it works. And he's like,
I never bought that philosophy.
He's like, my kid likes Aranda. I like Aranda. Everybody likes Aranda. But is he going to be there?
I've seen that TV show.
Which one is that?
Everybody Likes Aranda.
It only had a 13-week run. They thought it was going to get canceled. And then they extended it for the rest of the year. Thought it was going to get canceled.
It seems like their program is in flux right now. And then I read last week, last home game, they had less than 40,000, which was the lowest crowd, blah, blah.
Right.
So the fan base is getting fickle.
Yeah.
Oh, we had David Smoke on.
David Smoke said that when he was on, yeah.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he did. The crowd.
He said they're disconnected. He's disconnected right now.
Yeah.
And I read it.
Translated for they're not winning enough.
Yeah, it does. And they moved on to basketball. It's like the U of A in Tucson.
2021, they won 12 games, and then 6 wins, 3 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins. I mean, they're all over the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, hence the disconnection.
And they're probably going to have a new AD.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's game week for the Utes, and the KSL Sports Zone is getting you ready for kickoff. After a much-needed week off, Kyle Whittingham and the Utes get set for the final 3 games of the season, starting with a trip to Waco for a battle against Baylor. Listen all week long for the best coverage of Utah football. Then catch college football Saturday game day at 10 a.m. with the postgame show immediately following the game on KSLSports.com.
Let's go then. Let's go, baby.
Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is live on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The band of the day, Blink 182. Drummer Travis Barker celebrates his 30th birthday. Should that be Travis? Yeah. Travis Barker celebrates his 50th birthday. Brought to you by Live Nation for all the live concerts and events in 2025. Check out livenation.com. The big 5-0. The kids are all grown up, PK. Blink 182 is 50.
That's a lot of blanks in his life.
There you go.
Why did Kyle just go deep into the response to Sawyer Robinson but had nothing to say about the Grizz?
Because Sawyer doesn't play at BYU.
Mm-hmm. That team down there.
That doesn't hold water for me. I want to know more. Why not?
Why don't you ask him?
Why won't he mention BYU's quarterback and any of his skills? What was the point behind that?
I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. I think the only 2 things I would guess, and I'd just be guessing, I've never talked to him about this, but I would guess that 1, it's the rival, and he recruits more against them head-to-head, and so he just has decided not to talk about them. Or 2, due to the nature of the rivalry, anything you say
can be held against you?
Yes,
in
exactly.
a court of law?
That's exactly it. In the court of the rivalry. In the court of the rivalry.
In the court of fan opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you go down there to South Mountain, and you get right up on top of the county line in a courtroom there, and it can all be held against you. And so he's just like, I'm just not mentioning it. It's just, if you try to compliment him, it's a backhand slide. If you don't compliment him,
but doesn't it look petty without even commenting at all?
Yeah, but
that's another. But that is the danger.
This kid is, we like what we see on film, and
he's talking about every other quarterback they've played all year, and then he says we're going to focus on our team this week.
Yep.
Why?
Yep. He's not talking about the rival.
If they would have asked him about Will Ferrin, would he have just elaborated? He's a heck of a kicker, man. Beat us last year. Clutch kick.
I don't know. Why didn't someone break down the place kicker? Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Would the question have been different if it would have been, could you speak to the quarterback play that BYU is receiving, rather than this focus on literal individual? Now, it's one and the same because he's taken virtually all the snaps.
I get your point. I don't think he would have said anything.
No? Not even at that. How about the running game, which is more people?
I have tried to do that, getting sound for later in the week for these updates we do, and it doesn't usually yield much. And one time this year, he said, "Well, I don't look at that opponent until Monday afternoon, which is why I can never answer your questions." Or
okay, but he answered it about Sawyer Robinson. Was it because they had the bye?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was the bye.
And they need stuff to do?
I think it was about Cincinnati's run defense. I think is what I tried to ask him about, and he wasn't having any of it. But maybe the bye, you're right. Maybe the bye with Baylor gave him obviously more time.
Right, because he gave the kids off 3 days, he said.
Yeah, so they're ahead on their film work.
This time of year, he's not just sitting around watching TV. Yeah. So maybe that makes sense.
Yeah,
that he would have a lot more information because of the bye. Why not use that to your advantage and look at every opponent, but certainly the next opponent? I can buy that completely. I actually had not noticed that he waited, or he would say, well, I don't really get into it until Monday afternoon.
Yep.
But
yeah,
he
specifically said that.
I didn't remember
it
that.
would have been, I'm pretty sure it was the Cincinnati game that he said that.
Okay.
So the Monday before the Cincinnati game. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. And coming up this morning, so many things still in front of us. We still have David Locke showing up this morning. David will join us to talk all things Utah Jazz at 8:30. Kevin Graham is here to talk football at 9 o'clock. Mark Harlan on the playoff committee. When we get to that next, stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.